Hey there, tech-savvy friends! Are you ready for a mind-blowing journey through the world of technology? Well, buckle up, because today we're diving into 65 absolutely amazing facts about technology that will leave you astonished. We're talking history, inventions, and mind-boggling stats, all served up with a side of humor. So, let's power up and get started. 1. A light bulb moment. Thomas Edison didn't invent the light bulb, he just improved it. Sir Hiram Maxim and Sir Joseph Swan had similar ideas before Edison came along. 2. The odd computer bug. The term bug in computing originated when an actual moth got stuck in an early computer, causing it to malfunction. Talk about a literal bug. 3. Walking on the moon. The computing power in the Apollo 11 lunar module that took us to the moon was less than that of a modern smartphone. Mind-blowing, right? 4. The origins of Wi-Fi. Did you know Wi-Fi was partly developed using technology from a failed experiment to detect mini black holes? Sometimes, failure leads to success. 5. The inventor's dilemma. Nikola Tesla, the mastermind behind alternating current, was scared of pearls. He couldn't even stand to be near someone wearing them. 6. First steps in VR. The first virtual reality headset was invented in the 1960s. It was called the Sword of Damocles, due to its massive size and weight. 7. E.T. Phone Home. The first mobile phone call was made in 1973 by Martin Cooper, a Motorola employee. He called his rival at Bell Labs just to rub it in. 8. The World Wide Wait. In the early days of the internet, it took over an hour to download a single song. Patience was truly a virtue back then. 9. Gigantic Gamers. The first video game console, the Magnavox Odyssey, was released in 1972. It was so large it could double as a coffee table. 10. A Titanic typo. The computer code responsible for the Mariner 1 spacecraft malfunction in 1962 contained a single typo, causing it to crash. Proofreading matters. 11. The floppy disk flop. Despite being called floppy, 3.5-inch floppy disks were actually rigid. Who knew technology could be so misleading? 12. Techie Tunes. The world's first computer-generated music was created in 1951 by Alan Turing. He was truly a man of many talents. 13. The first emoji. The smiley emoticon smiley face was invented in 1982 by computer scientist Scott Fahlman. Looks like we've been communicating through symbols for quite a while. 14. A dot-com disaster. Pets.com, a notorious dot-com failure, went from IPO to liquidation in just 268 days. Talk about a rough ride. 15. Google's humble beginnings. Google was initially called Backrub, before they settled on a name inspired by the mathematical term, Google. 16. A jumbo jet setter. The inventor of the modern-day jet engine, Sir Frank Whittle, had a fear of flying. Oh, the irony. 17. The grandfather of GPS. The ancient Greeks used a device called the Antikythera mechanism to navigate the seas. It's considered an early form of GPS. 18. The Queen's Royal Email. Queen Elizabeth II sent her first email in 1976. She's always been ahead of her time. 19. Control plus Alt plus Del creator. The computer command Control plus Alt plus Del was created by David Bradley, who claims it only took him a few minutes to come up with the idea. 20. Virtual fame. The first YouTube video, Me at the Zoo, was uploaded on April 23, 2005. It's still available to watch and has millions of views. 21. A texting tradition. The first text message, sent in 1992, read, "Merry Christmas." How festive! 22. The power of Pac-Man. Pac-Man, the iconic arcade game, was originally called Puckman in Japan. The name was changed in the US to avoid potential vandalism of the arcade machines. 23. The truth about Tetris. Tetris was created by a Soviet software engineer in 1984, and it remains one of the best-selling games of all time. Talk about a blockbuster success. 24. All hail the holograph. The first functional hologram was created in 1962 by Yuri Denisuk, a Soviet scientist. We've come a long way since then. 25. The sneaky USB. The USB symbol is modeled after the trident of Poseidon, the Greek god of the sea. Seems fitting for a device that makes waves in the tech world. 26. CD's hidden talent. A standard CD can hold up to 74 minutes of music because Sony's president wanted to fit Beethoven's Ninth Symphony on a single disc. What a classy reason. 27. A mysterious mouse. The first computer mouse, invented by Douglas Engelbart in 1964, was made of wood. Talk about a vintage vibe. 28. The sound of silence. The first alarm clock could only ring at 4 a.m. Good thing we have snooze buttons now. 29. The e-reader revolution. The first e-reader, the Rocket eBook, was released in 1998, but it wasn't until the Amazon Kindle's arrival in 2007 that the e-reader market truly took off. 30. VHS versus Betamax. The VHS format ultimately defeated Betamax in the 1980s, despite Betamax's superior video quality. Sometimes, it's not just about the specs. 31. A $1 million domain. The domain name, business.com, was sold for a staggering $7.5 million in 1999. That's some pricey real estate. 32. The original social network. Launched in 1997, 6degrees.com was the first ever social networking site. It was truly ahead of its time. 33. Photographic memory. The first digital camera had a resolution of just 0.01 megapixels. We've come a long way in picture quality. 34. The Great Calculator Race. In the 1960s, Texas Instruments and Sharp competed to create the first handheld calculator. Sharp won by a few months, but both became household names. 35. A robotic romance. The first humanoid robot, Electro, was built in 1939 and could speak 700 words. We wonder if it knew how to say, "I love you," in binary. 36. The magnetic attraction. The first commercial hard drive, the IBM 350 disk storage, used magnetic disks to store data. It was the size of 2 refrigerators and stored only 5 megabytes of data. 37. The longest email address. The maximum length of an email address is 254 characters. Good luck remembering that one. 38. The speedy supercomputer. The world's fastest supercomputer, Fugaku, can perform over 442 quadrillion calculations per second. It's like having a million Einsteins in one machine. 39. The first Apple. The original Apple I computer was sold as a DIY kit in 1976. You had to build it yourself and add your own keyboard, display, and power supply. 40. The pigeon post. Before the internet, carrier pigeons were used to transmit messages. Some pigeons even received medals for their service during World War I. 41. The evolution of emoticons. Emoticons evolved into emojis, which are now a staple of modern communication. There are over 3,000 emojis available today, giving us endless ways to express ourselves. 42. A hard drive to remember. The first hard drive weighed over a ton and stored just 5 megabytes of data. Today, a tiny flash drive can store terabytes. 43. The original gamer. The first video game, Tennis for Two, was invented in 1958 by physicist William Higginbotham. It was quite the racket back then. 44. The sound of music. The first MP3 player, the MP Man, was released in 1998 and could hold just 32 megabytes of music. That's only around 8 songs. 45. The microwave marvel. The microwave oven was invented in 1946 after an engineer noticed that microwaves had melted the chocolate bar in his pocket. A sweet discovery indeed. 46. Technicolor Dreams. The first color TV was introduced in 1953, but it took another decade for color broadcasting to become the norm. Life was pretty monochromatic before that. 47. The Robo-Revolution. The first industrial robot, Unimate, started working on a General Motors assembly line in 1961. Today, millions of robots work in factories around the world. 48. The inkjet inception. The first inkjet printer was invented in the 1970s and was based on a technology used to measure the sweetness of wine. Talk about a multi-talented invention. 49. The cellular centenarian. The first mobile phone, the Motorola Dynatac, weighed over 2 pounds and cost $3,995. It also had a whopping 30-minute talk time. 50. The tweeting triumph. The first tweet ever sent, by Twitter co-founder Jack Dorsey, read, "Just setting up my TWTTR." Little did he know it would become a social media giant. 51. The Bluetooth breakthrough. Bluetooth technology was named after a 10th century Danish king, Harald Bluetooth, who united Denmark and Norway. Now it unites our devices wirelessly. 52. A quantum leap. Quantum computers, which are still in development, could potentially solve problems that would take traditional computers millions of years. Talk about a time saver. 53. The origins of Atari. Atari, the classic gaming company, was founded by Nolan Bushnell, who also founded Chuck E. Cheese. Who knew gaming and pizza went hand in hand? 54. The Speedy Spectrum, the first ZX Spectrum computer, released in 1982, had a whopping 16 kilobytes of RAM. Today, the average smartphone has over 1 million times more memory. 55. The birth of the web. The World Wide Web was invented in 1989 by Sir Tim Berners-Lee to help scientists share information. Now, it's the backbone of modern society. 56. The rise of the robots. The first self-driving car, developed by Carnegie Mellon University, reached speeds of 20 miles per hour in 1989. Today, autonomous vehicles are becoming a reality. 57. The apple of his eye. Steve Jobs named Apple Inc. after visiting an apple farm while on a fruitarian diet. Sometimes, inspiration is deliciously simple. 58. The facts of life. The fax machine was invented in 1843, predating the telephone by over 30 years. It's a technological dinosaur that still roams the earth today. 59. The first smartphone. The IBM Simon, released in 1994, was the first smartphone. It could send emails, faxes, and even had a touchscreen. Talk about a trailblazer. 60. The Morse code conundrum. Morse code, which predates the telephone, was invented in 1838. The first message sent? What hath God wrought? A fitting start to a new era of communication. 61. The laser legacy. The laser was invented in 1960 by Theodore Maiman and has since been used in everything from surgery to barcode scanners. Talk about a bright idea. 62. The vinyl countdown. Vinyl records, once thought to be obsolete, have made a massive comeback in recent years. Nostalgia really does spin the world round. 63. The texting titans. In 2021, over 560 billion text messages were sent every day worldwide. That's a whole lot of LOLs and BRBs. 64. The Silicon Valley saga. Silicon Valley got its name from the large number of silicon chip manufacturers in the area. Now, it's synonymous with cutting-edge technology. 65. The digital dark age. Some experts worry that we're heading toward a digital dark age, where future generations won't be able to access our digital records. Better start printing those selfies. Well, that's all the tech-tastic facts we've got for you today. We hope you enjoyed this electrifying trip down memory lane, and maybe even learned something new. If you liked what you saw, don't forget to smash that like button, drop a comment with your favorite fact, and subscribe to our channel for more awesome content just like this. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep exploring the incredible world of technology.